All right, hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
That is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. Jake, happy 500th episode.
Oh, this is it? This is 500?
This is we've been doing this for whatever 500 divided by 52 is. Once a week, every week. And if you're listening to us on Chicago's Comedy Scene Radio, thank you. Hello, Chicago.
Hello, Chicago. Thank you.
All right, let's jump in. It is Cyber Monday. Jake, you and I have to get our shopping on, so let's bang this out. Let's talk to the people so that we can start shopping for shit we don't need. I'm not going to
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm actually skipping over the stuff I do need specifically to get to the shit that I don't need.
The garbage. All right. First story, I don't have a lot here. The idea, the concept is the only reason I wanted to talk about it quickly. Texas anti-woke bank goes bust in 3 months. A bank startup backed by billionaire Donald Trump supporter Peter Thiel pitched as an anti-woke and preached as this is a poorly written sentence. Okay. That's why I'm having problems. Is again, no editors. First of all, Trump supporter is all one word, so they don't even have an editor. But so it's an anti-woke bank for pro-freedom Americans, and Peter Thiel invested. Well, the overall investment was $50 million. The whole point is Glorify, that was the name of it, had been touted as an alternative conservative banking system for consumers who find Wall Street too liberal. Wall Street, Jay. I get it, the idea that the media is liberal or that the country is too woke, but who has ever walked into a bank and thought, you know what, this bank just isn't conservative enough for me. I need an anti-woke, $50 million down the drain. It just made me laugh.
I like that. A bank for somebody who's sitting there thinking, I'm tired of not being able to yell slurs while I'm in line to cash checks. Finally, a bank for me.
When was the last time? It's probably this morning, maybe yesterday, maybe every day. You saw an article about Wall Street being liberal. Wasn't Occupy Wall Street, which is a few years back, but that whole thing was literally Wall Street sucks. All they do is fuck America, and yet somehow it's too woke for. How
now these guys got a short memory. According to these guys, Occupy Wall Street was a huge success. It wasn't just hippie shitting in tents for a couple of years in a park, a very small park, mind you. It was successful. They were able to infiltrate Wall Street, and now every single white collar business criminal has his pronouns on his fucking fancy tie, and it's a whole, or their fancy tie rather, and it's a whole thing now. Can't say nothing on Wall Street anymore.
Nothing. You're doing coke off
a bunch of little person's head.
Liberals calling one another they. It was supposed to have credit cards and checking and shell casing. It's gonna have credit cards made of shell casing material. That's how much they loved the military. Your credit card was gonna be one of those metal credit cards made from shell casings. And they would offer assistance paying legal bills if customers shot someone in self-defense.
There you go.
How ensconced in your political position do you have to be on either side? Like, I want to know, is someone going to open a woke bank now where every bank teller is they, and you are not allowed a gender when you enter, or maybe you're assigned a gender when you enter the bank?
They have drag queen story hour, and they're the ones cashing the checks too. It's a whole thing. No, I signed up for a savings account with the unwoke bank that was just called the N-word. I was like, wow, Jesus, that's the name of the savings plan? They're not fucking around. This is insane.
No, every their tiers are different racial slurs. One against Asians, one's against Latinos.
You know what the next tier up was? The Hillary Clinton did 9/11 plan. I was like, wow, this is really, I mean, I don't know what this has to do with banking. But, I'm sure they'll fucking, tie it to it somehow.
Well, Jake, I hate to tell you, your money's gone because the bank is no more.
I really wish I could have sat around with the marketing people, when they were kind of dreaming this up, and they were like, listen, we find that too many banks are too they're too inclusive. What we want to do is divide the market into segments and take only a segment.
Whatever happened to the rich saying, I don't care what color you are, money's all green. Can't we all get along? Come on, let's Rodney King our banking system.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like other banks aren't political at all. They're not quote unquote woke or conservative. They're not even like mainstream like Democrat or Republican. They may donate to parties,
I was
but
just
in
going to say, I'm
terms
sure
of
they
like how
donate
they
at the back
market,
end. Yeah.
but yeah, that's all on the back end. That's all they're paying you to fuck over poor people so that they have more money to I don't know, store in the Cayman Islands and do whatever. But they're not advertising that. They're not like, hey, we at Wells Fargo, we just paid $500 million to Republican super PACs so we can fuck over you guys. You know, like they're not doing that. They're on the front end. They want to be like McDonald's. They want everybody's bumper stickers, whether it's a Trump or a Biden one, driving through the fucking bank line. You know?
Yeah, you don't ever walk into a bank and see a sign that says vote Trump or vote Biden. It's, whatever they do behind closed doors, like everything. All right. I just wanted to touch on that. We've got a big story to get to that we'll probably spend a lot of time talking about. But before we get there, I need to close this video that keeps reopening. I love this headline. Fucking nightmare. Trump team does damage control after he dines with Kanye West and white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Okay. First of all, I had never heard of Nick Fuentes. Had you?
No, Kanye's gone so far off the deep end that anyone anywhere even close to what could be considered mainstream is fucking done with him, and he's just like digging and finding like 4chan celebrities and shit at this point, and the former president of the United States.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is, you and I, we do a news podcast. We've been doing it for 500 episodes. We're not smart, but we do tend to peruse news stories. I'm going to do something I rarely do, but I will do it when justified. I'm going to defend Donald Trump. He said he had no idea who Nick Fuentes was. You and I read the news constantly. I had no idea who he was. Kanye was coming over for dinner, brought this anti-Semite, and Trump is saying, I didn't know he was bringing him. I fucking believe it. For once, I believe Trump because, I mean, the media's blowing it up like Trump dined with an anti-Semite. Well, yeah, he didn't know he was going to be there, but that's not the big story.
His response is, listen, I've dined with a lot of things.
Exactly. Kanye's running for president. He asked Trump to the immovable object met an unstoppable force. Like Kanye wanted Trump to be his running mate, and Trump. This is going to be fantastic. 2024 is going to be amazing with Kanye and Trump running against DeSantis. DeSantis will eventually win and be president, but especially if Biden decides to remain in the race for the Democrats. But right. My God, Kanye's running for president. That's the lead that got buried by all this Trump dined with an anti-Semite story nonsense.
Wait, hasn't he done it twice before? I know he did last time.
He did, but it was such a small blip. But he came in late, like after everybody decided. And he came in like, what was it, a halfway or 3/4 way through the primary?
I mean, yeah, he was toward the end. It wasn't like a serious thing.
He's building it up. Like if you read the story or other ones, he has a campaign manager. He's working with Milo. Milo Yiannopoulos is back. Milo's on his team. And
is he still straight? Is he still technically straight?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was doing those turn you straight Bible.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. I forgot.
Yeah, he was like joining them, and then he was claiming to start its own. It's like, wait a minute, man. Even if the thing worked, which I don't think it did, you've only been doing this for 3 months. What would that now qualifies you to be the head of one of these fucking things?
We have to look that up for next week to see if Milo's conversion did work. And yeah, I forgot about that. But either way,
well, I heard him on a podcast like 6 months afterwards. It didn't sound like it was going good.
No, it didn't. It didn't stick. He was still.
It was funny because like at the beginning of the podcast, like he's dressed all straight, like he's dressed like he's wearing shitty clothes like I do, and had like
I am right now with whatever this thing is.
Yeah. He's just and like he has like the the voice. He has like a very high
An
pitched
affectation to
feminine.
his
Yeah,
voice.
yeah. He's hi, I'm Milo Yiannopoulos. Like he's got the so he's trying not to, he's just not talking a lot at the beginning, and he's like doing a fake deep voice. Yeah, hi. I'm yeah,
Oh,
it's going
oh,
on
wait,
good.
wait, wait, wait,
But then
wait.
by the end of it, he starts slowly slipping back into his normal voice. It was pretty goddamn funny.
He needs to. We finally found a use for Elizabeth Holmes. She can't make a blood sampling machine, but she could teach Milo how to talk. That's what. With her, I am. My name is Elizabeth. Could you invest in my company, please?
Yeah, dude, her Dr. Seuss character with a learning disability voice was more convincing for like whatever she was going for. That was 1,000 times more convincing than his straight guy voice.
Than Milo trying to be straight. Well,
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't working, dude. He was slipping back into it. Just so what I'm saying is, I love pussy now, guys. It's fucking great, you know. And then
yeah.
by the end of it, they finally got out of him like, well, no, I haven't actually slept with a woman yet. Yeah, it's a multi-tiered thing going on, and
Baby steps. Baby
yeah, it's
steps.
just, you know.
Well, the whole point is, and we can move on from this, but Karen Giorno was Trump's campaign manager in Florida, a campaign director for Florida in 2016, and she is working with Kanye now. So we are going to see a fantastic goddamn campaign coming. He's coming out of the gate swinging. He's not joining last minute. He's going to make an attempt. I can't wait to see it.
It's
And I
gonna be
wouldn't.
good, man.
Not going to discount that either. Back in 2015, we said Trump would never make it. He made it. We could have President Kanye someday.
Well, see, back in 2016, I was saying, well, he should run because what he's going to do is he's going to take the crazy megalomaniac with no political experience speech a vote,
Yeah.
sorry, and cut it in two, right? Trump gets
Yes.
half that vote, he gets the other half, right? Like that's kind of what I was thinking. Trump, I think, this time is looking at it and going, well, Kanye is a black guy who is a rapper. He's going to split what? The black vote, where he has not been following everything Kanye did. He hasn't just been saying anti-Semitic things. He's also going, oh yeah, by the way, George Floyd was a crisis actor or whatever kind of crazy shit he was spouting about him. He died from fentanyl and not that fucking knee on his neck. He's been doing that too.
He's saying a lot of crazy shit.
He's been doing, yeah. So black people are done with him too. Like he didn't just say the anti-Semitic. He said, oh, by the way, not only are Jews running the media, George Floyd was a hoax or whatever kind of fucking crazy. So he's like burning all bridges to all groups. Anybody possibly who could be considered mainstream is not touching this guy right now. Oh yeah. He may split the black Israelite vote. So whatever black Israelites were going to vote for Trump may possibly now vote for Kanye, unless they're saying it's not really Kanye, it's a white man with a mask. Like they might just be going crazy into conspiracy land, which I'm sure they are. You know, be weird if they weren't. You know,
yeah,
quite frankly.
Everything is a conspiracy. All right, one more story, and then we'll get to the meat of things. Clicking on it, mom shares disappointing, and then my screen scrolled. You got mom shares disappointing experience at Universal Studios due to lack of size inclusive rides. She was a big woman. She couldn't get on any rides because they weren't, quote, size inclusive. And trying out test seats in front of crowds of people with no privacy felt like an embarrassing spectacle. Jake, it would be very easy to do something mean and cruel right here and fat shame her, which I'm not going to do. What I'm going to do is say, guess what? Not everybody gets to do everything. Do you know how many kids are out there right now that just turned 22, graduated from college, spent their entire life playing football, hoping for a shot at the NFL and didn't get it? How many jockeys for the Kentucky Derby wish they could play for the NBA? Life is not fair. And plus,
well, all right, I do have an argument to that point.
Sure.
Going on a roller coaster, way easier than playing for the Buffalo Bills. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but I'm saying
it's way easier. I'm just saying if it's not the same odds, it's not the same kind of rigorous training camp where a third of the people get cut in line for the roller coaster who are all doing it right. You know, who are all doing the squats to try to squeeze their ass in the roller coaster seat. A third of them are not going home without. Well, maybe in certain
Maybe,
states,
yeah.
but most states, most people can squeeze into the roller coaster seats. And I will say that as a Midwesterner who's an alcoholic, been way fatter women. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think she's that fat.
she when I clicked to see the picture, I
Yeah.
expected someone like my 600-pound life.
Uh-huh.
She's just differently shaped. She has a bigger bottom, and that's all there is to it.
She's just
But
curvy.
I have two thoughts. One, and this is the mean thought. Anybody that's seen the movie Wall-E, you can't start this down this path. You can't start saying like, oh, we're getting bigger, so we've got to make airline seats bigger. There are safety concerns. I'm not trying to make a fat joke here, but seriously, are you just going to put fewer cars on the rail or make the roller coaster stronger? There are weight limits on planes. There are weight limits on roller coasters. Um,
I'm
and
gonna
then
be
here,
sitting there in the afterlife, and they're gonna be going, "Hey, what are you here for, man? I'm here for cancer. I had pancreatic cancer. Oh, me? I got on a roller coaster with the entire offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys, and the fucking thing did one of the loops. And as
what
soon as it got there, me,
collapsed on itself.
yeah, dude, it was me, roller coaster mom, all the offensive linemen for the Cowboys, and it just wouldn't hold. It just fell. It crushed all of us like a fucking Pepsi can.
Yeah. Here's my final thought. And then you can take it away from here. She said the most embarrassing thing was going from ride to ride, which I have seen, and they have a test seat out front, and then you try and sit in it, and if you don't fit, you can't get on the ride. She said that was humiliating to do that over and over, and then finally she stopped. Couldn't they put all the test seats in one area in a closed room so people could do it in private? Um, Here's the deal. You know what you look like. I know what I look like. You can when you are your size, ma'am, which I am not making fun of, you are just who you are. You can eyeball that shit. You can take a look at that seat, your figure, and go, you know what? Don't think I fit. And then to have it done multiple times, because the roller coaster seats are pretty conformist. It's not like they have some that are, couches and others. They're like airline seats. Yeah, you get first class, which is a little bigger. But generally, you don't need to test yourself 20 times and be humiliated repeatedly. You can take one look at a roller coaster seat, one look in the mirror, and say, you know what? I guess I don't fit in that. Doesn't have to be humiliating. I'm sorry you didn't go on the roller coasters, but yeah, this one's kind of on you.
See, I don't know, man. In a weird way, I'm like 10% on her side with this one because
All right.
looking at her, I would not have been thinking like, oh, she will not fit in a roller coaster seat. You know
Well,
what I mean?
but she should know. She should know her own body. I'm not saying I would look at her and go, "Oh, look at you. You're disgusting. You don't go ride a roller." I would not do that. But I'm saying you know your own body. When you look at yourself, that's why I said the mirror. You know who you are. You can
Well,
look
but
at her like I said. She's not. She's just got bigger hips. It happens.
here's the thing. I don't really like as an adult, maybe this will change once my kid gets a little older. Um, I don't just automatically know every single ass that will fit in every single roller coaster. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a roller coasterologist. I didn't decide the fucking things. I don't work with roller coasters. I haven't been on one in probably 20 fucking years. So I don't
Oh,
know
what's wrong
which
with you? I went to
asses
one this
fit.
past summer. We took the family. My wife and I went 2 years ago to Sandusky. It's
Right. Okay.
still
So
fun
what I'm
as an
saying,
adult.
if you, yeah, like, no, and honestly, Adventureland in Iowa City, not Iowa City, but Des Moines, Iowa,
Right.
as an adult with no kids, one of the secretly most fun things to do in the state because you can get bombed off of alcohol. Like they have booze everywhere. They have a swim up bar. There's like a water park within there that you can get bombed in the water, and you just go around and get bombed. And you grab a drink for the line, so the line doesn't matter anymore because the shittiest thing that I always hated about amusement parks when I was a kid was what the lines.
Yeah.
Like the roller coasters are fine. I just don't like waiting an hour for like a thing that's like 1 minute. But here's
Yeah.
the thing: as an adult, you get off the roller coaster, you have a drink, and then you plan what ride you're going to go to, and you're like, hey, that might have a line. Let's grab another beer for the line. Now you're just standing there drinking with your friends. And that's essentially what a bar is, just standing around drinking with friends. This is every line now is essentially a standing, slow moving bar with a ride at the end of it. It's fucking awesome. There's no lines anymore as far as I'm concerned if I can bring drinks, dude.
But you don't want to get stoned because everybody knows that when you're stoned, time slows down. Suddenly that line feels doubled in length to you because it's
Yeah,
not
and plus
moving.
I don't want to do any kind of like any sort of like hallucinogen because I don't like being around people that aren't like tripping or stoned when I'm on it, especially strange because like I'd be literally packed inside rows of people that I don't know who are dead sober, and I'm like, no. Whereas alcohol is a different kind of thing. You're just kind of chilled and relaxed and whatever. And it does keep you from getting too like obnoxiously drunk. Just like you're not getting like that. I mean, you are walking around in the sun.
Sweating it out.
You're doing adrenaline filled things. Yeah, man. It's keeping you at a nice, healthy buzz. It's fucking great, man. It's really like a smoker's patch for alcoholics. I know AA will not suggest this, but like you can feel like you're getting pretty drunk without getting like pretty fucking drunk.
And yet you just said you haven't done it in 25 years. What is wrong with you?
Well, I haven't lived, but okay, I haven't done it in a long time because it was too much of a drive from Iowa City to do that when I lived there, and I haven't lived in Iowa in like 10 years. And honestly, dude, the going to theme parks in places that aren't just complete flyover states like Iowa fucking sucks. The lines there are like 3 hours. Like it's fucking insane, dude. Like not even with booze. Like I would need just I would need to be on fentanyl. I would have to just have fucking. I would be requesting cocaine bags with fentanyl in it, so I could just. Yeah, it's a 3 hour fucking line, dude. Like I would rather die than do this sober.
We've gotten lucky. We went to Disney this year, and we went. The first 2 days were cold and rainy, so the lines were short as fuck. All we did is bundle up. Everyone's like, "It's so cold." We're like, "It's 50 degrees. That ain't shit in Iowa."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's like you ain't even bringing a jacket. That's a sweater day in Iowa.
Yep.
Midwest winters are fucking brutal. But I will say that when I was a kid, to bring it back around to this lady, when I was a kid, they used to have, not only would they test you before you got on the roller coaster, there'd be a thing at the front, at the front turnstile.
Well, they had the height thing.
The height thing at the front to where it's like, there was a guy, if it looked close, they would have another one, and the guy would even, do it. But before you even went to walk through the line, there would be a thing to where it's like, hey, when you get up there, must be this tall. And it would usually be a wood cut out of a guy's hand, must be this tall. And here's how me and my dad would cheat is he would bring pairs of socks. And I suggest you do this for your kids too, if they really like going on the big rides.
My kid, he's a little fella. This was his first year being able to ride rides. He's 8 years old. And my daughter, tall, at 6, she was able to go on a lot of the rides. My son, 2 extra years before he was able to hit most of the rides. So
okay, so this advice does nothing for you.
So again, this goes to my original point. Not everything is for everyone. It's called safety concerns.
Okay,
anyway,
and here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can cheat.
They should have next to that thing with that says must be this tall, and it's got the little guy's hand. It's got the guy's hand where the kid's head should be. He's also got and must be this narrow. He's got the 2 hands, right? There's 2 wood cutout. It must be, huh? And here's what my dad
must
used
fit
to
in.
do.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt. I apologize. It's kind of like when you get on an airplane and your overhead must fit in this little thing. You just have a phone booth size thing. You must be able to fit into this size phone booth to get on this ride, height and weight.
Madam, your lower baggage must fit within this guy's wooden cutout hands. Otherwise, you're gonna have bad time up there. And so here's what my dad used to do. Here's to bring it back right point is to get him or to get me on to the rides when I was a little bit too short. Here's how you squeeze a couple extra inches in there. You take pairs of socks. You know how you kind of ball them up when they come out the dryer and you put them in the drawer. You don't just throw them in loose. You're not a fucking animal. No, what you do, you scrunchie them. You know what I mean? You wrap them around each other to where it's like a ball of sock, right? He would take 2 balls of socks, 2 pairs of socks, take my shoes off, put the balls of socks under the heel, and then I would put the shoes back on to where I'm essentially walking on my tippy toes, but it looks like I'm just wearing.
It doesn't look like it.
No,
it's like fake high heels, inner shoe high heels, so that your heel is elevated. I do that sock trick with my penis. I put it in my pants.
Yeah. As did my dad. And he was one day he was doing the sock trick to him. He's like, I'll bet this would work on my kids. No, 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 not like that. But you know, and then
Yeah, yeah.
he did it to the heels. So, and then even then, if it doesn't work, if you got up there, at least back in the roaring 90s, you know, when we weren't all safety conscious and weren't going to close down a theme park just because one kid died, you know, you could get up there. And if you just looked at the guy with really cute little eyes and then still stood on your tippy toes and was like, am I turning enough now? Like, he'd be like, all right, what am I, Corella DeVille? What am I, the fucking Grinch? Am I a monster? Would tell this kid that just waited in line and he's
Making
you know, he's
$5 an hour. Go.
yeah. Plus, look at this little mullet head. He's white trash Iowa kid. Like he doesn't have the money to sue. He's at Adventureland. He's not in the fucking Poconos.
He's not at a Six Flags. Yeah.
No, he's not
at
even
Disney.
Six Flags. He's at
Adventureland.
Adventureland. Everything here is covered in urine and vomit. He can't sue anything.
From the drunk adults waiting in line.
Yeah. He's not suing. I'll be able to settle out of court with his dad for fucking scratch tickets. Like, look at this guy. He's a garbage person. Kid's got socks in his fucking shoes. And not just the ones he's wearing. He's trash. He's fine. So what I'm saying, ma'am, have you tried Spanx? Have you tried Spanx? That is the big ass version of what the fuck I'm talking about. She didn't even mention, and I even wore Spanx to make it even a little. No, you don't even love your kids enough to wear Spanx to the amusement park. You disgust me as a parent.
There we go. I was trying to be gentle and you just knocked it out of the goddamn park.
Because the thing is she's not like way
she's acting a victim when she doesn't need to.
What's up?
She's acting the victim when she doesn't need to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And here's another making this your fuck and like I said, I agree with her a little bit in that I would have thought she would have fit on the roller coaster. I would have been in that same predicament the first time up there. Now, the second time around, I would have done the Spanx because I'm a good, loving father, and she's not a good, loving father. And so I would have done the Spanx, but that's beside the point. Another thing that used to happen at a certain age on the roller coaster, I was at a certain height where the ones with the shoulder pads?
Yeah.
So I was at a certain height as a kid where those things just happened to hit right on the side of my temple. So I would just be like a pinball, just bouncing back and forth, like right in the fucking temple, on these roller coaster rides. And so I would have splitting fucking headaches when I was done with the shoulder pad ones. Now, my dad and my two younger brothers were always all about the roller coasters too. And so I would do one of those. And then from then on out, if it was one that had those shoulder pad things that day, I'd be like, nah, hey guys, I'll wait with you at the front, you know?
Yeah,
and
I got
like,
CTE.
sure? And yeah, and they at first they try calling me a pussy and that didn't work. And then they'd be like, oh, come on, man, it's not that bad. Oh, you know, and I'm like, no, it's fine. You guys go ahead. And then, my dad would feel kind of bad. Like, oh, he's bummed. And I'm like, no, I'm not bummed. I'm just, I don't know, give me $5. Let me play some Carney games and I'll just fucking hang out here. Why? Because I wasn't a fucking victim. I was like, look, I didn't decide to make this my Rosa Parks moment, where I'm like, I had a dream that I would get to ride the roller coaster without a headache. Why don't you have a thing for my specific height? And because even at that time, I'd had real problems. You know what I mean? I'd almost been stabbed by meth heads. It was a flyover state. It was,
Yeah, you had real problems. Like, you didn't need to invent roller coaster problems. That didn't need to be your good.
I would have no problem sitting a roller coaster out as a fucking adult if my son was on it. Why? Like, would I be a little teensy weensy annoyed? Yeah, but then I'd been like, wait a minute. I've also had to wait 3 days for an AIDS test after being drunk and having sex with a woman with sores. So it's like I know real fear. I don't need this roller coaster. That's nothing for me.
I think the hashtag is first world problems.
Fucking A right.
Well, I want to jump on what you said for our final story. Your dad and brother calling you a pussy because, oh shit, we're running out of time. We got 10 minutes to nail this one. The Colorado shooter, the guy that went into Club Q, his dad, Jesus, holy shit. I'm just going to read one quote. Colorado shooter's dad on finding out his son murdered people. Quote, they started telling me about the incident, a shooting, and then I go on to find out it's a gay bar. I got scared. Shit, he's gay? And he's not gay, so I said, whew, I'm a conservative Republican. So better a murderer than gay. Jake, do you think this shitty father asshole cunt uh his shitty parenting led in any way to the shooter doing what he did? I'm gonna lean a little yes on this. That whatever fucking happened in this kid's child, because his grandfather is a piece of shit too. This Colorado shooter is an asshole, but it turns out he was raised by super assholes, and I'm kind of seeing a direct line between being raised by assholes and being an asshole yourself. Thoughts?
And the cat's in the cradle in a silver spoon. Little boy blue in the yeah. And I will back up though. You really weren't doing that justice.
Okay, go
His
ahead.
quote.
Oh,
People,
I just read it flat. When
yeah,
you
he just read
watch
it
the
flat.
video,
you got to watch the video because this guy, he's got some real sling blade shit going on. Like it's a see he shot at a gay club. He wasn't gay, was he? All right, good. He must not be gay. Like that's
yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
the guy fucking talks, man. Yeah, you could tell that he definitely took a lot of blows to the head. Definitely
Yeah, was he an amateur boxer or something? Or
he did MMA.
oh,
He
I
was
was
he
making
did
a joke. I missed that.
no, he was an MMA
Got
fighter.
kicked in the
So
fucking
he did
skull a
like
half a dozen times more.
yeah. I mean, he did amateur MMA stuff. I watched one of the fights that was in like a casino. He was fighting like, I mean, this was like 20 years ago, so he was younger at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
and was fighting some guy who like looked like him kind of now, to where it's like, hey man, this guy might have been tough. 17,000 shots to the head ago, and way less crystal meth or whatever, but
Yeah.
he's pretty old, kind of burnt out. Like was like still in shape, but like you could tell like he's kind of in his uh, uh,
The downward
Muhammad Ali,
the downward
Parkinson's years.
trajectory.
Yeah. And so he went pro for a couple fights that didn't go well. And then he like that was it. Like, but he did technically do 2 pro MMA fights. And then he did porn.
Wait,
The porn.
I missed all of
You
this.
didn't know he did porn?
No.
Dude, he did porn. He was a porn star.
Wait, Star? Like I've heard of John Holmes. I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah. And that's well, I did the research on him.
Oh, that's
And
why you're here, Jake. God damn it, you're the best.
dude, so his porn name is Dick Delaware. Because I was Googling the guy's name in porn and I'm just seeing news stories and I'm like, no, give me the I was going on Reddit and 4chan and stuff. I'm like, give me the fucking real name.
Something you and I have talked about where fucking the news story says something like, oh, they shouted a racial slur, but they won't say the slur, and then you got to Google and search and try and find it. You were actually trying to find the porn, and all you kept getting was news references.
Yeah, but then I finally found one article that actually did its fucking due diligence, and it said the guy's porn name, which was Dick Delaware,
Right.
which is a terrible fucking porn name. Even Delaware Dick would have been better. Even that sounds cool, like that sounds old timey and fun.
Born in Delaware or something? Where does that come from?
What's up?
Was he born in Delaware or something? Did you do that?
I don't know, but he is technically still the most famous man to ever come out of Delaware. No pun intended. Actually, the state sign is just that guy fucking a woman while screaming homophobic slurs with pictures of Jesus in back of him. That's
I'm
welcome
doing
to
porn
Delaware.
right, man and a woman.
Yeah. It's not Adam and Steve. It's this right here. Yeah.
I'm a conservative Republican. I get paid to have sex on camera. Family values.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. Like, I get, yeah. His bigger titles include My MILF Boss 8, I Want to Get Titty Fucked, and
who doesn't?
Well, I mean, that's a specific one. That's like, that's like foreplay, but a whole movie, it's just titty fucking. That seems like a specific thing. I mean,
it's like, okay, I've not to go sideways, but I haven't watched a porn movie in forever. I've watched porn forever, but the nice thing about the internet is you get 1 minute clips. You can watch like 3 1 minute clips and you are good and done and off the website and being productive with your day. There's no ding dong pizzas here, plumber, none of that anymore.
But how are you going to find out after you come what America's most homophobic dad does at the end of Latina Slut academy. You know,
Wait, what is
I
it?
mean,
What slut academy?
Latina Slut Academy. I
Oh,
mean,
so
does
he
he
is
really? Does
progressive.
he
Family
end up
values.
teaching these sluts how to read?
Well, he's also progressive as it's Latina, so he's
Racially,
crossing
he's pretty
race.
cool.
Yeah, racially he's progressive, just not when it comes to gender.
He's kind
But
of like Mitch McConnell voting against that marriage equality
marriage
bill,
rights for
even though he's
married
in
to
an
an Asian woman.
interracial marriage. You know, he's just like, no, I'm not sexist, honey. I'm homophobic. See, I'm homophobic,
Yeah,
just like Dick Delaware, my favorite
just
porn starter.
just like the Bible wanted. The Bible wants me to hate gays and fuck for money.
Pretty much, man. And that's a really weird combo though, because this is not. I'm very anti-homophobia, but I
Yeah,
get homophobia where it makes sense. I get if you're a homophobic evangelical pastor. That
sure.
I don't agree with you on anything, but occupation adds up. I'm
You've
a
got your book of
homophobic
fairy
coal miner.
tales. You believe it.
Adds up.
You're gonna preach it.
Yeah, it's like it's not a stretch for me. Homophobic porn star. That's a fucking weird one. That is a weird. That's a weird because for one thing, most porn stars do like gay
Gay
porn
porn.
to
Yeah, they do
start
it for the
off with.
money. They do
Yeah,
it for the
for the
money.
money, and they have to start off in gay porn. It's a way of just kind of paying your dues, kind of like you got to do so many open mics and bar shows before we take you seriously. You know, it's you got to take your dick to give a dick. You know, this is
Right.
it's kind of the industry this is, and plus
That's
you
the
think about
slogan
it,
for the industry.
well, it's a sheer supply and demand thing too, because there's twice
Yeah.
as many guys in gay porn as there is in straight porn. You know, statistically speaking,
Well,
so
yeah.
going to be more work there. But even if it's not that situation where he did gay porn, he's at least, because let's face it, this guy did MMA first, so he probably got to skip that line. He's sort of like the former actor who's now like headlining on the road doing stand up, and it pisses the rest of us off because we're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
man? Like that guy.
The thought I had is, and I can't think of her name, but I've watched her videos. She's very good. The Muslim woman that did porn that blew up because
Mia
that was
Khalifa.
just what's that?
Mia Khalifa.
Yeah. That was his. It's like we got an MMA porn star. Yeah, he gets a boost for notoriety, just like she did.
And
Yeah, just like you
and you
said
know
with
the other
comedians.
porn stars who work their way up, they're like, oh, dude, he doesn't even know how to do doggy style right. This fucking guy sucks. He's a hack. He's a hack. He's only in here from MMA. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
wouldn't be headlining without his credits.
Yeah. Look at him. He's half fucking flaccid. I could fuck way better than him. Get me up there. I should be headlining this porn. You know, there's bitterness there, but it's
There
also
has
like,
to be.
yeah, even if he didn't do gay porn, he's passing gay porn stars in the hallway, and that's got to be when you're that homophobic.
Oh,
That's got to be awkward. You know what I mean? Because
he's Wile E. Coyote and Foghorn Leghorn. It wasn't Fog, but it was the Warner Brothers cartoon where they'd punch the clock and then the coyote would try and get the sheeps and the dog, whatever, the Saint Bernard would protect him, and then at the end of the day they'd punch the clock and be friends again.
pretty much. I mean,
Cartoon
but
reference.
the thing is I don't know how you would even.
Except he's not friends with him. Yeah.
No, yeah, and it's got to be awkward because it's not even like working with a gay dude in a normal job to where it's like, well, you go home and fuck your wife, and I'm gonna go home and fuck my partner or husband, like whatever. Like, no,
Yeah.
they're doing it right over there. Like they just fucked in that room, and so it's like he's making gay porn small. And these ain't regular gay dudes. These are like gay black belts, these gay porn stars. You know what I mean? Like that's the gig. That's the 9 to 5, sucking and fucking is what these fellas do for money. And they did it professionally, and they beat out the competition, no pun intended. And so they're sitting there in the elevator making small talk, like Jesus Christ, Jesus, Dick Delaware. They got you straight fellas working doubles too. We're us gay fellas thinking about starting a union.
We're
Oh my God, I'm
dehydrated.
worn out. All these dudes I've been fucking. You've been fucking a lot of women, Jesus. Over here in the gay department, it's been brutal. I almost dislocated my jaw on that last fella.
Well, we are about to get cut off. We ran the time limit. So jakevevra.com is where you can find Jake. NathanTimmel.com is where you can find me. Normally we don't end so abruptly, but
At Jake Vever on all socials.
there you go. And we're going to get kicked off. Jake, good seeing your face, my friend.
You too, man.